Well, hi everybody. I am here with Tracy Hanson, and this is a real treat for us at Lynx Players, and hopefully for you, because Tracy has been writing for the Lynx Daily Devotional for a long time now. Spent 15 years on the LPGA Tour, and so some of you know her from having seen her play her game. And so she's here to talk to us a little bit about her game and about what's going on in her life and those sorts of things. So I'm going to ask Tracy some questions, and we hope that this does some real cool stuff for you. Welcome, Tracy.
It's great to be here.
Good. Glad you're here. It's sunny here, isn't it?
I am really soaking up this vitamin D right now.
Yeah, we're in our studio in La Quinta, and Tracy normally is from Michigan, and we are filming this in what should be early spring of 2014, and I'm afraid it's still
snowy in Michigan.
Snowy in Michigan. So we brought her to the sunshine, and we're going to talk a little bit about golf. And I want to talk to you first of all about your strengths.
Okay.
It's always kind of a nice place to start, talking about the way things worked for you when you were on the golf course. You were obviously dedicated to the game to be an LPGA player, and so you were paying very close attention to what was going on with your game basically all the time.
Yes.
So there had to be some things that were frequently good, the strengths of your game. What were those?
For me, my iron play was probably my most consistent over the long haul of my career.
Okay, and how did it get to be that way? How was it your irons that showed up as the
thousands and thousands of golf balls with those irons? And I think, our irons are the one thing that stay the most consistent as far as we don't switch them out a lot. If we do switch them, we tend to use the same shaft. And so we just change, get a new club because we need a new head. But the woods and the putters, we're always tinkering with those things, and they're always different. And so I think the irons are the most consistent.
So once a good iron player, always a good iron player?
Not necessarily. I mean, we all have our ups and downs, even in our strengths.
Sure. Now, you had this strength, iron play. How did you put that to use when you were on the golf course going, okay, this is what I'm good at, I'm going to take advantage of it?
Yeah, I think two things. One, on par fours or par threes, we tried to get ourselves in position to hit at an angle towards the pin. I wasn't really a player that worked the ball a lot, right to left or left to right. I kind of just liked a gentle draw. And so if I was a par four and the pin was on the right, I would try to get on the left side of the fairway so that I had a good approach shot. On par fives, we actually played to our strength for our wedge game. And so we actually know specific yardages that we can hit our sand wedge, our gap wedge, our pitching wedge. And so in our second shot, I would try to hit to those spots.
It sounds to me like there's some math involved here.
There's a lot of math involved.
Okay, so you know how far the entirety of the yardage is, and you want to hit it this distance so you have a nice, comfortable distance left. Is that right?
Yes.
Which means you better know what your distances are.
That's why you need a good caddy.
Okay, a good caddy. And why, if you're starting out at the game, it can be frustrating at first because you're not even consistent enough to know, does this 7-iron go this far or does it go 30 yards farther than that?
Right.
Because sometimes it's that much variance.
Yeah, I mean, we get down to like exact 1 to 2 yard differences where a lot of amateurs, they're like, well, I hit this 150 and then I hit this 165 and well, that's 15 yards of difference where we're talking like 147 versus 149 differences.
I once played golf with a guy. I'd never met him. It was the second hole, was a par 3. And I said, I shot the distance. I said, well, it's 145. He says, that's good. I have my 120 to 170 club. So
that's a big range.
That's a big range. But being good at something is important, and knowing what you're good at is important. So is knowing what you're not so good at. And that's what I want to talk to you about next time.